In the heart of Jos, where the plateau's rugged beauty reflects the resilience of its people, stood the large estate of Chief Obadiah Dong. His wealth, amassed from extensive tin mining operations, was legendary all over Nigeria. But Chief Dong's most prized possession was his daughter, Kaneng, whose beauty was said to exceed the sparkling streams of the Shere Hills. Kaneng Dong wasn't just beautiful, she was arrogance personified. Her laughter, sharp and mocking, often echoed through the halls of their mansion, usually at the expense of those she deemed beneath her. She walked with a sway that seemed to command the very earth to bow before her. On a misty morning, Chief Dong hired a new driver, Jeng Pham. Jeng was a very young man, handsome, and carried himself with quiet dignity. His eyes, deep and thoughtful, seemed to hold the wisdom of the ancient rocks of Riom. When Jeng was introduced, Kaneng barely glanced his way. Another servant, she sneered, examining her designer watch. "Try not to embrace us with your bush manners, will you? This household has standards." Jeng bowed slightly, his face a mark of calm. "I'll do my best, Miss Kaneng." As weeks passed, Kaneng's treatment of Jeng grew increasingly cruel. She would snap her fingers to summon him, toss her shopping bags at him to carry, and loudly complain to everyone about his driving. "Jeng," she screeched, "are you trying to kill me with your snail pace? My grandmother walks faster than this." Jeng would calmly reply, "Miss Kaneng, I am driving at the speed limit. Your safety is my primary concern." This would infuriate Kaneng more. Safety? Ha! Daddy could even buy a whole fleet of cars if anything happened. Just drive faster, you incompetent fool. One scorching afternoon, Kaneng demanded Jeng drive her to a high society wedding in Bukuru. She spent the entire journey berating him. "Do you know whose wedding this is?" she asked, her tone dripping with disdain. "Of course you don't. It's the governor's daughter. Not that you would ever be invited to such an event. Know your place, driver." Jeng remained silent, his knuckles white on the steering wheel. Suddenly, the car sputtered and came to a halt on a dusty road surrounded by old tin mines. "What's happening?" Kaneng asked. "Don't tell me this overpriced junk has broken down." Jeng calmly explained that the car had overheated and needed time to cool down. Kaneng was livid. "Cool down? I don't have time for this. Fix it now, or I'll have Daddy throw you back to whatever village you crawled out of." Despite Jeng's warnings, Kaneng stormed out of the car. Designer heels sinking into the soft red earth. "I'll find my own way to the wedding. I don't need you or this useless car." As Kaneng stomped away, her anger blinding her to the surroundings, she failed to notice the group of rough-looking men emerging from the abandoned mines. Their eyes gleamed with malicious intent as they spotted the bejeweled, out-of-place young woman. Well, the largest man growled, his voice like gravel. "Looks like we've struck gold, boys. A little rich girl, all alone." Kaneng's heart raced. For the first time in her life, her family name and wealth seemed meaningless. She opened her mouth to scream, but fear had stolen her voice. Just as the men closed in, a familiar voice rang out, "Step away from her now." Jeng stood there, his stance wide and confident, a heavy wrenched grip in his hands like a weapon. The leader of the group sneered, "Look here, boys, a hero. What are you going to do? driver. There is 5 of us and 1 of you." Jeng's voice was calm, but carried an undercurrent of steel. "I may just be one man, but I've got something you don't." "Oh yeah?" the leader scoffed. "What's that?" "Training," Jeng replied, his eyes hardening. 7 years as a special force operative before I became a driver. Would you like a demonstration?" The men hesitated, uncertainty replacing their earlier bravado. Jeng took a step forward, the wrench glittering the sunlight. "I'll give you to count out of 3 to disappear. 1. The group didn't wait for 2. They scrambled away, tripping over themselves in their haste to escape. Kanek stood frozen, her designer dress now stained with red earth. Her carefully applied makeup streaked with tears as she hadn't realized she had started crying. "Jeng," she whispered, her voice small and fragile. You saved me. But why? After how I've treated you?" Jeng's face softened. "Because it's right thing to do, Miss Kaneng. Your life is worth more than any insult or amount of money." As they walked back into the car in silence, Kaneng felt something shift inside of her. The arrogance that had been her armor for so long began to crack. Over the next few weeks, a change came over Kaneng. She became more quiet, more observant. She watched Jeng with new eyes, noticing his kindness to the compound staff and the gentle way he helped an old woman with her heavy bags at Terminus Market. His patient explanations to the neighborhood children about how cars worked. Kaneng found herself looking forward to car rides, no longer to show off, but to talk with Jeng. She learned he had a degree in mechanical engineering, but chose to work as a driver to support his younger siblings' education. His quiet strength and unwavering principles fascinated her. As Kaneng's attitude changed, so did her relationship with those around her. The compound staff, once terrified of her temper, began to smile genuinely at her. She started volunteering at a local orphanage, finding joy in giving rather than receiving. But Chief Dong noticed these changes with growing alarm. His daughter, once the toast of just high society, was now spending time with common people. And worse, he had seen the way she looked at the driver. One evening, he overheard Kaneng and Jeng talking and laughing near the mango trees in the compound. The sound of his daughter's genuine laughter, so different from her usual scornful giggle, made him realize the depth of the situation. "Kaneng," he thundered, "come here immediately." Kaneng froze, the laughter dying on her lips. She knew this confrontation had been coming, but she wasn't prepared for the fury in her father's eyes. "What do you think you are doing?" Chief Dong raged. "Consulting with a driver? Have you forgotten who you are? Who we are? I've let this go on enough. Jeng, you are fired. Leave my compound now." Kaneng felt panic rise in her chest. She looked at Jeng, expecting to see defeat. Instead, she saw a calm resolve that gave her courage. "Baba," she said, her voice trembling but determined. "Jeng is a good man. He saved my life when I was in danger, and he's taught me what true wealth means. It's not in our bank account or our social status. It's how we treat others, in the love we give and receive." Chief Dong's face turned a dangerous shade of purple. "Love? You dare speak to me about love with this nobody? I didn't build this empire for you to throw it away on some driver." Jeng stepped forward, his bearing respectful but unafraid. "Chief Dong, I apologize for any distress I've caused. I have nothing but respect for you and your family. I may not have wealth, but I have my education, my skills, and my determination to build a life. I care deeply for your daughter. and I would do anything to ensure her happiness. Chief Dong's laugh was cold and mocking. Happiness? You think you can make her happy? Do you have any idea what kind of life she's accustomed to? No, this ends now. Zheng, if you are not off my property in 5 minutes, I will have security throw you out. Kaneng felt tears welling up in her eyes. Baba, please. Enough, Chief Dong roared. Go to your room, Kaneng. We'll discuss your punishment later. And as for you, Zheng, consider yourself lucky that I don't have you blacklisted from every job in Jos. As Zheng turned to leave, his eyes met Kaneng's. In that moment, a silent promise passed between them. This wasn't over. Over the next few weeks, Chief Dong kept Kaneng under virtual house arrest. He confiscated her phone, limited her internet access, and her security, monitoring her movements. But he underestimated the determination of two hearts in love. Kaneng managed to sneak messages to Zheng through a maid. They planned and plotted, their love growing stronger in the face of adversity. Meanwhile, Chief Dong arranged for a series of suitors to visit Kaneng, each one wealthier and more influential than the last. But Kaneng remained steadfast, rejecting them all. Kaneng, Chief Dong roared after the last rejection. You are being ridiculous. Do you think that rival can give you a life you deserve? You are throwing away your future. Kaneng stood tall, channeling the strength she'd learned from Zheng. No, Baba. I'm choosing my future, a future based on love and mutual respect, not money and status. Chief Dong's frustration grew with each passing day. He tried bribes, threats, and even attempted to arrange a quick marriage to a business associate's son, but Kaneng's resolve remained unbroken. One night, unable to bear the oppressive atmosphere of the mansion any longer, Kaneng snuck out. She made her way to the small apartment Zheng now rented, her heart pounding with fear and excitement. They knew they couldn't stay in Jos, where Chief Dong's influence reached every corner. With a heavy heart but unwavering determination, they decided to leave, to start a new life together, somewhere far away from home. As the day broke, Kaneng and Zheng boarded a bus bound for Lagos, carrying nothing but a small bag of clothes and their dreams for the future. When Chief Dong discovered his daughter's disappearance, his rage knew no bounds. He sent search parties, contacted police, and even hired private investigators, but Kaneng and Zheng has vanished into thin air. Months passed, Chief Dong's anger slowly gave way to worry and eventually a deep, aching regret. The mansion, once filled with Kaneng's laughter, even if it had been mocking, now felt cold and empty. One day, a letter arrived. It was from Kaneng. With trembling hands, Chief Dong read about his daughter's new life in Lagos. She and Zheng had started a small but successful auto repair business. Kaneng was studying business management. They were happy, truly happy. The letter ended with an invitation, not for Chief Dong to visit them, but for them to return to Jos, if he is willing to accept their relationship. Chief Dong sat for a long time, the letter clutched in his hands. He thought about his empire built in the city of Jos and realized that without his daughter, it all meant nothing. With a heavy sigh, he picked up his phone and dialed the number Kaneng had provided. Hello, Kaneng, he said, his voice rough with emotion. Come home, both of you. We have much to discuss and much to forgive. And so, our stories come to an end. What do you think? Is love truly more valuable than wealth and status? Can people really change, or will old habits always resurface? Before you go, why not share your thoughts in the comments? Have you ever had to choose between love and family expectations? How did you handle it? Remember, sometimes the hardest rock to break are the ones in our own hearts. But when they do break, they often reveal the most precious gems of all. Until next time, may your lives be rich in love, understanding, and the courage to follow your heart. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this story to your friend.